welcome back to another episode of Soulful Feasts, bite-sized information to nourish your body, mind, and spirit. I'm your host, Stephanie Zubiri, and today we will be speaking again about autism. It's something that is so dear to my heart, as you all know. My son Max, who is now 8 years old, is also on the autism spectrum. And I am so proud of his progress. Now, one of the things that made it easier for us to give him the help that he needed was he was always verbal at a young age. This meant that he could learn to express himself. Now, being able to express yourself is one of the things that make us a whole, complete, and wonderful human, because we can communicate clearly what our needs and wants are. Imagine being trapped in a body that has big feelings and has fears and anxieties because the world is so different and overwhelming for you, and not being able to express yourself. This is what a child with autism feels like if they cannot communicate properly. Now, I'm here today with an amazing father, the founder of Mylo, Vincent Rocha, who was inspired by his own child's journey and how he's created this app to help him with speech therapy. Hi, Vince.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. You know, I am number one, an advocate of normalizing neurodiversity. I think we are all different and we should really recognize that. And number two, being able to recognize and accept it early on means we can get the help that we need. So, you know, this is amazing because as we know, children on the spectrum need a lot of support, and support is expensive. And they need a lot of support on a daily basis. So, you know, having more support means being able to have better progress, correct? But it's expensive.
It's true.
So let's talk a little bit about your own journey. How did you discover your son's condition?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. But first of all, I would like to heartfully thank you for really raising awareness on this issue. We need a lot more people to raise awareness, and that's the first step. And I think the second will be the acceptance, which each and every person who is neurodiverse, they would need that.
Yeah.
So just to tell you our story, my son was diagnosed early on. He was 2 years old. So what happened there was initially our doctor already had a hunch that there was something different with my son Noah. Mm-hmm. So what happened there was we were hoping that he would grow up the best person he could be, until our doctor told us that he has autism.
Yes.
When our doctor told us, Vince, Nikki, your son has autism, the feeling that we felt during that time was anger. I was angry with myself. I was honestly blaming my wife. I was blaming myself. I was blaming my genes.
It was your fault, no?
Yeah, so we were blaming ourselves as parents too, which was really very hard to accept. And after the anger, after the blaming, we tried to find the right intervention. So after the anger, it took us 1 year and 6 months to book a DevPed session to find a speech therapist and occupational therapist. So that means there's 1 year and 6 months delay in intervention.
And you're not being able to help him the way. And as we know, so this is one of the key things that I've learned. Early detection and early intervention really gives your child such a head start because all the neural pathways are still being formed. So you really have time to make a good impact. That is crazy that you lost 1.5 years just trying to get a dev bed. I know how hard it is actually to book. Parang we're super kulang dev beds in the country.
That's true.
And hard to like find the right one and get all the tests done, diba?
That's true. So we did a deep dive. There are only 80 plus developmental pediatricians to serve a 1.2 million diagnosed population.
Wow.
That's diagnosed. There are even a lot more undiagnosed.
I get so sad actually when I think about that because, you know, guys, unfortunately, lalo na in lower income families, they become victims of abuse kasi, tanga-tanga mo or, you know, ang bobo mo, right? Like, they become parang victims of abuse because they don't know how to deal with it and they don't know what's happening to them, and it just really breaks my heart. Like, I really get teary and cry thinking about all the kids who don't get the help that they need.
That's true. When ask around, that's common. Tatawagin silang baliw, tatawagin silang bobo. But you know what? Outside of Metro Manila in the provinces, there are still kids being chained.
Oh my God.
So and since the parents don't know that they are neurodivergent, ang tingin sa kanila baliw. Pero imagine, you're a person, you can speak, but you can understand.
Yeah. Yeah, you're trapped inside.
You're trapped, di ba?
You're
So,
trapped.
tapos ang isi-chain ka, ano ginawa ko mali?
And then usually, 1 of 10 kids yan, di ba? So
That's
parang
true.
wala nang patience yung parent, wala nang, like,
That's true.
di ba? So parang for me, it's so sad because many of these neurodivergent children have so much talent and creativity and genius inside them that cannot be expressed in the regular, common, quote unquote, normal way. And that's why sometimes when you give them art therapy, di ba, gagaling-galing nila mag-draw, mag-paint, or even just music. So really being able to give them avenues to express themselves is so important. Vince, I did an event recently with Best Buddies PH. So shout out to Michelle, who is amazing, the founder. Hi, Michelle. She created Best Buddies as a community for neurodivergent children, so that they have their own social outings, and we did a story reading of a children's story I wrote called Chalky the Chameleon, about basically a chameleon who is white and cannot express himself in color, and kind of learns his own way to express himself. And it's been illustrated by Vico Chap. Now, during this event, Michelle had set up testimonials of neurodivergent children who are now adults and telling them their success stories. And there is this one young man who is in his 30s now and was telling his story of how he remembers when he was 4 years old. He was in class and a bird entered the room. And he saw the bird and he was so frightened. He wasn't sure why he was scared, but he was so scared that he was screaming and screaming, and they were getting angry at him. But then he couldn't tell people why he was scared. He had no way of communicating. But imagine now that he knows how to speak and he can pinpoint these very salient memories of looking out at the world and not being able to say, takot ako dyan, or that's bringing me stress. What kind of, and all you can do is scream, right?
That's
and
true.
shout and cry. And now that he can talk, he was saying how parang he was so angry at the world that no one could understand what he was saying, what he was trying to communicate. And he was also so angry at himself that parang, why can't I talk? And then he said, until one day when I was 7, someone had the patience to sit down with me and teach me letters. And letters became words. And then words became sentences. And then eventually, I had a way to express myself. And just thinking about that right now makes me really teary because I can't even imagine the anguish, no?
Yeah, that's true. Personally, I'm one of the people who got angry at my son.
Yeah.
When we play toy cars, we play it like this, right?
Yeah.
So my son plays it differently.
Mm-hmm.
For example, he looks at the car and he looks at it this way, close up. So I was telling him, hey, bakit ganyan ka maglaro? That's not the right thing. Lala, he's not speaking. So ganun ako magsabi sa kanya, this is how you play. So siya, nakatingin lang sa akin. So one time, I got curious. Sabi ko, bakit kaya ganun siya maglaro?
Okay.
I took out a phone. I got the macro. I took a picture of yung tinitingnan niya, yung tires. Pagka-picture ko, nakita ko, ang ganda pala ng creases ng tires. Tapos, pinakita ko sa kanya, nag-smile siya.
Yeah.
Sabi ko, pinapagalitan ko siya. Ina-appreciate lang pala niya yung magagandang creases ng laruan.
Yeah.
So, that was one of the reasons why parang after nun, sabi ko, each and every time na mag-tantrum siya, I step back and talagang titingnan ko yung nasa isip niya. For example, nagsuot siya ng bagong t-shirt, nagagalit siya. So step back ako, bakit siya nagagalit? Magaspang ba yung shirt for him?
Yeah.
Kasi there was also one time that I was able to talk to an adult. Parang sabi niya, alam mo, nung bata ako, parang pinapasuot sa akin yung polo, nagwawala ako. The regular polo. For us, it's regular, right? Yeah. Pero ang feeling pala niya during that time was yung manggas, parang may glue and paste dito.
That's like stuck.
Super sticky for him. So for us, lagyan kita ng glue sa braso, maiirita ka rin, di ba?
You know what's so funny? Ayaw din ng anak ko ng polo.
Yeah.
Yung
So,
polo with the like that. Diba? Yung typical na Lacoste-looking polo, ayaw niya.
kasi naiipit.
Yung manggas.
Oo, yung manggas.
And then magaspang daw yung color.
Yes. So so during that time, we understood that okay, there's hypersensitivity. So kung cotton lang siya, di cotton lang lahat, and we adjust. Right. So
And it's so hard kasi parang, of course, you want them to socialize and sort of be integrated in society. So there's a fine line for me. Like, for example, my son is doing so well. Like, he advocates for himself. He's integrated in a big school, but may learning support. Pero minsan, we have to really check our patience. Is he acting out kasi nagiging bratty siya? Or is he acting out because there are things that he really can't process?
it's true.
Diba? So, for example, kagabi, nagluto ako ng dinner. It's actually one of his favorites, salmon, ganun. Tapos sabi ko, okay, it's time for dinner. Tapos sabi niya, did you make us noodles for dinner? Sabi ko, no, I made the salmon that you like with the miso glaze, whatever. It's supposed to be meatless Monday. We decided that last week. Tapos sabi ko, it's okay, we can do
Out of
meatless.
routine.
Out of routine. I was like, bago pa lang tong meatless Monday, you know, like, and he's medyo, like, quite an animal lover. So, and then, parang you could see him na, like, his skin was getting red, tas teary yung eyes
Frustrated
niya,
siya.
super frustrated, like, but mama, like, we're supposed to be all vegetarian today. Like, it's meatless Monday. We decided it. Last week, of course, I forgot, you know, and I was cooking some recipes. So, parang yung natira, yan na yung dinner ko. So, we're trying to explain to him that sustainability is also like eating the leftovers. As in, it really bothered him. It really bothered him. So, parang, at that moment, you're thinking, papagalitan ko ba to na parang, you're so spoiled, ang daming kids na walang food, ang daming kids na, you know, like, just eat what's on the table, masarap naman, it's one of your favorite, right? Diba? You're like, and then naman his brother is there. I wouldn't treat his brother the same way, diba? I wouldn't accept that from his brother, be like, oh my God, just eat what's there. Because, you know, sayang. But it was really like, bothering him. So parang sabi ko na lang, parang I had to recognize that. And to be fair to him, he held it together. Parang hindi siya like, he was going to tantrum, but parang he used some of his coping mechanisms. So yung mga deep breaths, and then parang sabi niya, okay, it's okay, I just won't eat dinner. Parang not to be a burden, sabi niya, I just won't eat dinner. And I said, if you don't want to eat the salmon, ikaw bahala, you can cook your own. Sabi ko, gusto mo ng pasta? Sige, okay. Nagluto siya ng pasta.
That's amazing.
8 years old. So it's like, it's okay. I can eat the salmon tomorrow. Sabi niya ganun. So parang, it's also hard on a small daily basis, like trying to decipher where you're going to be strict naman and where you're going to be understanding that for someone who has autism, he really cannot cope with I'm expecting this, and then this is Diba? But at least nag-effort siya. So parang, but it really sets him off kung hindi naka-routine, hindi naka-linya in his mind. Like, it really sets him off.
But that's amazing, ah. Kasi he's trying to cope.
Super.
He's trying to adjust. The Actually, that's one of the dilemmas that we have as parents, right? Do we discipline them, or is it just because they're neurodiverse that they do that? So very hard to distinguish, diba? So if it's twice as hard to
Super.
distinguish for them, right?
And also parang at the same time, you know, we also recognize that one day they will be adults and
They
the
need
world
to.
will not adjust to them, diba? So as a mom, parang maybe you want to coddle them, you want them to feel safe, you want to adjust to them, but that's also not teaching them, right? But how do you know hanggang saan kaya? Yun ang mahirap, diba? Parang sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, is he just being a brat or hindi talaga niya kaya i-process, you know? Yep, it's hard to distinguish.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, he handled it well. It's really impressive.
Super. But again, I'm very fortunate and I super recognize that, especially to all you mommies and daddies of children on the autism spectrum. He's verbal. He can communicate. So going back to what we were talking about, let's talk about the core of it, which is Mylo, which is speech therapy and support. So your son is nonverbal.
Yes. So Mylo's speech buddy is not a replacement for speech therapy. Never.
Yeah.
It's just a support. It's a follow-through session before and after the therapy sessions. We are well familiar that we cannot replace the love and care of teachers, of speech therapists to children.
Yeah.
So we recognize that there's a huge scarcity of speech therapists, not only in the Philippines, but worldwide.
Yes. And good ones.
And good ones.
So, I'll be honest ha, I've heard mga stories from friends na parang the speech therapist is impatient or parang baliwala. So, it's also important to find someone that has the patience and capacity to work with your child, diba?
That's true. There maybe because there's just bad days or they're just good days. After all, they're just
Human.
Human.
Of course, yeah.
Pinakagrabe kong narinig is one speech therapist is helping 14 children in one day.
Oh my gosh. So no wonder.
So it's not their fault.
How can you keep your patience,
Yeah.
no? Parang pagod ka na.
Even
Kulang
if you're the
talaga.
best,
Oo, kulang talaga.
diba? Even if you're the best, magkakaroon ka ng lapses kung
Of course.
ang konti ninyo, ang dami nyong kayang servan.
Yeah.
So now, looking at that, what we did, sabi namin, let's use tech. Let's just build a Netflix and what is done in the therapy center, i-follow to natin sa bahay. So we look into it. There's a methodology called video modeling.
Okay.
So the video modeling tells us that the parent needs to video themselves saying words na gusto ituro sa bata.
Yes.
But not everyone can take a nice video, right?
Correct.
So we start with the most basic words. Like for example, me, you, or even blow. Kasi blow is, it promotes or it teaches kids proper breathing and mouth movement, right?
Yeah.
So para maging ready sa mga next words. So right now, from the most basic words up until sentences, our goal right now is not only focus on the sentences, but teach the kids life skills,
Yes.
how to make friends, how to go to the back and pay.
Amazing.
Diba? So, because for us, neurotypical, it's common.
Yeah. My son had to be taught how to make friends.
Diba?
Yeah. That was the core of his therapy. Sabi ko, oh my God, every person needs this.
That's true.
Kasi parang when we started his therapy, it would start with like, hi Max, how are you today? I'm good. And then they'll be like, aren't you going to ask how I am doing? Diba? And then it's like, oh yeah, how are you doing? And then they would do like, sort of like situations. Okay, so if we were going on a trip, we would tell them, so they would prep him, okay, when you go to the airport, You have to line up, then they'll do security check. Sometimes you have to take off your shoes. But and then there's like mga cartoons that show this, or like, oh, what happens in the playground if someone takes your toy, or you want to talk to a group of kids. So what do you do? You're absolutely right. These things are normal to us, but not to them because they're just in their own world.
That's true.
And so they have to be taught to be interested in others. And I will tell you this, if anyone listening out there feels in despair, there is hope. I promise you, my son has made a 180 and really like advocates for himself. Ang dami niyang friends in school. It is possible.
That's true.
I promise you, it is possible if we get the right support, and particularly if we teach them how to express themselves. Yeah.
That's true. That's 100%. And of course, the feeling that you feel right now is valid. If you're angry, you're angry. You're human. But the most important thing is we need to do action.
Yes.
Just to tell you a story about my dream for my son. Actually, right now, we're not even looking at, him getting friends. When we ask him, you want to go out? You want to go out and play? No, I don't. No, I don't like. I just want to play blue tablet or play with my toy cars. That's it. But my dream right now is when I ask him, hey, how was your day? And he just tells me, my day is good. I ate lunch. I went to the school. Before I was dreaming for him to become very rich, a billionaire, a very successful guy. Ngayon, alam mo, kwento mo lang ako ng araw mo.
Baby
I'm fine with that.
steps.
Yeah. And no, that's my goal for the next
How
2-3
old is
years.
your son?
He's 6 now. He's turning
Okay.
7 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but this year has been very good in terms of progress.
Yeah.
He's saying sentences now. At 4, parang his first word was dog. Then cat. Then daddy amayu. Which is daddy I love you. So, selos yung asawa ko. So, but yeah, the progress has been great. Medyo mabagal yung sa amin. But every child,
It's different.
yeah, meron siya sariling
Kanya-kanyang
pace.
journey. Kanya-kanyang journey. And that's one of the things that I think perhaps we can give advice to all you parents out there. You cannot compare
Can't
the
compare.
progress of your child. Every day is progress. And some days may step back. Kasi, this concept of progression, regression, when they're trying to learn new things or they're in a new environment and trying to cope, sometimes there's a regression somewhere else. And that's okay as long as continue lang forward and forward every day, and they will find their place in the world,
That's
you
true.
know. Also, super advice. I don't know if the DepEd shared with you, bawalan yun ng tablet.
True.
Oo. Kasi it fosters the aloneness. Mag-isa lang. They're comfortable and they're in this zone, and it's actually very bad for their neurological development, and it doesn't teach them patience. It actually, even for neurotypical kids, even for your normal kids, it actually makes them more, gives them more triggers, makes them more parang anxious and impatient
Yes.
and bored. So parang when there's no tablet, it's like overstimulation. And particularly for children who are neurodivergent, no more tablets, guys. My DevPed is very strict. Tablet use was almost zero. Yung TV lang. So for a long time, wala siyang tablet, walang games, walang TV lang siya. If ever, parang mga 1 hour lang, then you have to choose shows that are calming, not overstimulating, because it messes with their mind.
That's true.
And tablet use fosters parang individual solitary time rather than giving them the desire to go out of their comfort zone to
True.
connect with people, play, or,
That's true.
Important talaga yan.
That's true. To add on that, we don't advise kids below 2 years old to use Mylo.
Yeah.
And each and every module of Mylo is just 3 to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's 3 to 6
Pero iba
minutes.
naman yung using Mylo with let's say the parent, you know what I mean? I think I'm talking about more like parang yung nakababad lang.
No, yeah. So yung pinapaalaga yung anak sa tablet.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's
I know
that's
that's easy to do, but that's really doing them a disservice.
that's
Just
true.
keep them in their loop, you know?
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's 100% true. So, yeah, management of screen time. So, ang sa amin is we did it like commercials lang. 6 minutes in the morning, 6 minutes in the afternoon, 6 minutes in the evening.
Yeah.
Maximum siguro 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's great.
As an activity, you don't give it to the child.
Yeah.
The parent has to hold,
Hold it
and
together.
anak, this is me. This is you. Gano'n, di ba? So, and just to tell you a story. Before this, I talk fast. My wife and I were salespeople. So we talk fast.
Yeah.
So, when he was younger, hindi pala niya kami maintindihan kasi mabilis na magsalita.
Yeah.
Tapos, ang lakas ng boses namin. One time, I called him up, Noah. Bulong lang, I whispered. Tumingin siya.
Oh.
Tapos parang tinry ko, Noah, can you hear daddy? Parang narinig niya ako. So ngayon,
Parang if it's loud, noise lang siya.
Yes. So if it's a little bit, for example, even right now, pag mag-usap ko ng wife ko, no one would say, Daddy, Mommy, sorry. Kasi feeling niya nag-aaway kami. When there's a birthday, ang ganda na happy birthday, di ba?
It's too noisy.
So noisy, he's trying to adjust. So hindi siya magkita, tapos he's trying to adjust. So anyway, so that's one thing that we realized too, for him.
My son hated birthday parties. Up to now, he doesn't like them. He will choose who he'll go to, and very often he'll say, "No, it's okay." But that's your friend. Won't he feel bad if you go? It's okay, he knows I'm his friend. I'll just see him in school. Ganon. I was like, wow, galing mo mag-boundaries. Gusto ko ng ganon. Alam niya. And that's what I mean as being able to advocate, diba, for themselves. So this is really helpful for, parents and kids. Now, just to wrap things up, what advice would you give parents who are new to this journey? Going through what you've gone through?
First and foremost, when you feel that you're in denial, when you don't want to accept it, it's fine. It's valid. When you feel anger, when you feel... there are a lot of feelings that parents feel. But we always have to remember that what you said earlier, that the earlier the intervention, the better.
Yeah.
So the earlier we start, the more they can cope up. Now, there are a lot of people who really can't afford therapy sessions.
Yeah.
But there are also a lot of free contents that they could get. Remember, I am a business. Mylo is a business. But I'm telling this to everyone. There are free contents too that they could use and they could follow through at home.
Correct.
It's not a matter of getting a speech therapist, but it's very important that you have one.
Yeah.
But you can also, as a parent, follow through at home.
Yeah.
Diba? So, I've heard a lot of stories wherein momshies who really doesn't want to give up builds their own content, builds their own seat work sa bahay, at sila mismo yung nag-follow through.
Yeah.
And you know what? They send me videos. They call me Daddy V. Daddy V, look, he's now speaking. Daddy V, yung content mo sa Mylo ng me and you, sinasabi na niya, So, when you ask him, me and you, yes, pwede na. Tapos yung modules talaga. One time, we were walking in the mall, tapos there's a waffle shop there.
Yeah.
Tapos parang yung bata told the mom, waffle. I like waffle. It's part of our modules kasi the breakfast eh. So para sabi ng mom, hindi naman natin alam yan ah. Parang, hindi naman natin kung ginagawa sa bayan, pero alam. So sabi ko, okay, I did my part. Mylo did its job. We're growing the vocabulary and hopefully we can reach more people. It's really surprising for us that we're reaching 50,000 downloads already.
That's amazing.
So I think that's the thing that I could tell the parents right now. intervention is really important.
It is. And the earlier you do it, the better. Absolutely. Parang I 100% believe in early intervention, early detection. You know, the stories I've heard of parents who even fight with their spouses like that, na parang and you're not doing your child a service. Like you're actually doing him a disservice. So parang take the ego out. It's not your fault. It's really not. We're all just born and built differently. It's not your fault. And there's a reason why it's called neurodiversity is because we're all different colors of a rainbow. And, you know, more and more people and more research is coming out that these children have so much talent and capabilities that are far beyond what we comprehend. I always tell my son, you're a superhero. You have superpowers. And everyone has their own superpower. So, please, number one, take your ego out. Hindi mo yan kasalanan. And then, cry. Ako, I cried one whole day. I cried and I said, I will never cry about this again. And I just wanted to help my child. And that was the most helpful. And like you said, there are things out there that are free, resources that you can get to help. And if you can afford to have the professional help, please go do it.
Yep.
And last little bit of advice, because I really believe in holistic healing, nutrition is a big part of your child's growth and progress. Many of them are actually not many. All children on the autism spectrum have a difficult time digesting gluten, highly processed foods, lactose foods like dairy foods, and a lot of the snacks out there have high fructose corn syrup, have a lot of chemicals, e-numbers, food coloring. My son already knows that masama yan. And you know what? It doesn't have to be expensive. Kanin is gluten-free. Diba? Rice and gulay and fish, those things are gluten-free. Even our local kakanin is gluten-free and healthy for them. So there's no excuse. I think there's really an opportunity to support your child's progress with a good diet and, of course, with your patience and love. So, yeah, thank you so much, Vince, for being on this podcast. Maybe you can share before we go, how can people find Mylo Speech Buddy?
So Mylo Speech Buddy is available at App Store and Play Store. You can only download it. There's a subscription fee of $9.99 per month. So that's how you may download Mylo Speech Buddy. We are growing as a startup company. Just to let you know, we are building a lot of good things. We are building a lot of support apps for children, not only in the autism spectrum, but especially the children with special needs.
Yeah.
So there would be an addition like OT buddy, PT buddy. So that's what we're doing right now. What we would want to do is to help more and more children.
Amazing. And you know those things, OT is what my son needs right now. He has gross and fine motor delays. And of course, being able to have that support at home for the right activities, the right exercises na beyond yung OT therapy niya, diba? So,
That's true.
yeah.
So we would be doing
Fantastic.
that soon. Yeah, I hope we can help out more and more kids and yung follow through at home ninyo.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Vince. It's been such a pleasure to learn more about your journey and, of course, to learn more about a business with purpose, right? Like, we need more and more soulful businesses like this. So thank you for sharing your journey. And thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this. I'll invite you all to check out the link below as well. I'm putting down the link of this little video, this reel that I did with Max. So you can see how he felt about his therapy. And he's the one sharing his own story. So please check out the link for that. And once again, you are doing everything that you can, and you are valuable, and you are loved. And on those difficult days where we know it can be challenging to be raising a neurodivergent child, just know that you are doing enough, and you just keep going day by day. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Soulful Feast, bite-sized information to nourish your body, mind, and spirit. I'm Stephanie Zubiri. Have a blessed day.